Hello again. I'm Sondra Baras, and we are with our weekly Torah portion. This week's portion is Toldot. Toldot literally means the generations or the descendants or the progeny. And it, of course, begins with Genesis 25, verse 19. These are the progeny of Isaac, son of Abraham. Abraham begat Isaac. It's actually a chapter that tells the story of Isaac, and it's focusing really on Isaac and on Rebekah and their children. What I would like to do today is really take a closer look at Rebekah. And I would like to introduce my words with the following. When I first started studying and teaching Scripture to and with Christians, I discovered along the way, as I'm sure you can well appreciate, that our differences in interpretations or in assumptions that Christians bring to some of these stories or to some of these texts and the way Jews view them. And one of the things that I was absolutely astounded to learn, that at least in, shall we say, regular, established, typical Christian circles, Rebekah is not viewed very positively. And in fact, the entire story of her prompting Jacob to deceive Isaac and to take the blessing that he was going to give to Esau, actually both Jacob and Rebekah are blamed in Christian interpretation as to having done something not very nice, not very moral, not very appropriate. So what I'd like to do today is change that perception. The Jewish perception, of course, sees Rebekah as a righteous woman who did exactly what she was supposed to do. Although I'm not saying that there aren't questions raised as to whether her approach was the best way. It may have been the only way. That's not something that I'm going to really get involved with today. But I do want to take a look at Rebekah, both in general, what do we know about Rebekah from Scripture, and then hone in on that particular story of the switching of the blessings and what it tells us about Rebekah and about the entire situation. So let's start with when we first meet Rebekah, and that we already discussed a bit last week, although last week we focused on the role of Eliezer and who Eliezer was and that whole story. Now we're going to go back to the same story and focus on Rebekah. So we start with Genesis 24 and verse 12. We have Eliezer first praying to God for the success of his mission, and he asks God to bring him a young woman who, and then he puts this test, when this woman comes, she will not only offer him something to drink, but she will also offer to feed his camels. And Eliezer ends his prayer by saying, "By this I shall know that you have shown steadfast love to my master."
To watch this program in its entirety, go to www.glc.us.com or simply click the link below.